Hey, it's the Empire. Don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon for more videos. We taking over. Let's go, champ. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's go.
Hey, it's the Empire, Boxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Now, man, crazy photo leak, man, with Andy Ruiz listening to one of the coaches, and he is swole, man. You know, this is the first time I ever seen Andy Ruiz. I can see definition in his body. From the picture, you can see his arms. They're huge, man. They're huge, and the guy is getting leaner and leaner, and you know, even his legs starting to have definition to him. This guy is getting in great shape, training with the monster Canelo Alvarez and Ryan Garcia. Now, if you didn't know, man, I talked about this before, but Andy Ruiz has been training with all the top Mexican fighters. They seem to all gravitated towards Canelo Alvarez, and I don't even know the guy's name. Canelo Alvarez is lead guy, his trainer. I was calling him El Cheapo. That's what everyone call. Everyone call. I think it's L. I don't know. It's not Chapo, but it's something like that. Chapo. I don't know. I don't know. But they've been training with Canelo Alvarez, his strength trainer, and his regular trainer, and everyone moved over there, right? When Andy Ruiz lost to Anthony Joshua the second time, he fired his trainer because he looked so poor and so bad, and he just didn't live up to expectations, right? Al Heyman said, "Man, listen, we got you this fight. We got you paid." And your trainer did not produce. He didn't produce. Fire that guy. Get someone new. And training with Canelo Alvarez is one of the best things that Andy Ruiz can do, because Canelo Alvarez, one thing you can't say about him is he misses weight. Canelo Alvarez will make a weight class in between weight classes like he did between 154 and 160, but he never misses weight. That's one thing he never did before, right? Now, that being said, Andy Ruiz is looking ripped, man. He's looking swole, and definitely he's been taking his athleticism to another level, right? And this can only put an exclamation point and an asterisk on his speed. When you start getting in shape and you're, 60 pounds above your ideal weight or more, how much faster is Andy Ruiz going to be, right? Andy Ruiz is going to be legit faster just based off of just getting smaller. Right, you lose 20-30 pounds, if not more, which is Andy Ruiz has extreme excessive weight. He's gonna be quicker, he's gonna be faster, and most likely he's gonna be more explosive. Right, you eat well, you're just gonna be more explosive. And I think basic things like eating certain foods, when you're that big, just eating healthy will make you lose weight. There's no doubt about it. Controlling how much you eat, you're working out 2-3 times a day, you do cardio, and then you do weights, and then you do cardio. I mean, you're going to be dropping weight extremely quickly on top of the diet. So I think that Andy Ruiz's lifestyle has definitely slowed down as far as doing what he wants. It's probably a lot more structured now. Understand that people have been talking about Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola. So that fight can possibly happen this year. There hasn't been any news on that one, but they have been talking about it. So Andy Ruiz can, for all we know, he can be in the middle of a camp right now, and maybe he's trying to get more in shape before they announce it or they talk about the fight. But they already mentioned the fight more than once. Andy Ruiz versus Chris Arreola, which is a Mexican bonanza. That's one of the biggest Mexican fights that is the biggest Mexican fight that can be made in the heavyweight division, bar none. Right? Understand that Chris Arreola, when he fought Adam Kanaki, they broke the record of most punches thrown in heavyweight history, I believe, with over 1,000 plus punches thrown between Adam Kanaki and Chris Arreola. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola. Chris Arreola, man, he's not a guy to be slept on. He's another fighter who was an extremely great fighter, but he came up short fighting Bermane Stiverne for the heavyweight title. He lost both times. I believe both times by knockout. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, man, he never got the heavyweight title, and he once upon a time was in great shape, and he was an extreme prospect that was coming up. But what happened was, he took those L's, and ever since then, his physique has been slipping. And it's almost the same story as Andy Ruiz, but Andy Ruiz actually managed to get the title. So that being said, Andy Ruiz actually had a taste of the heavyweight title, and so he knows he can get there again. This isn't a Chris Arreola, how he never actually managed to get to the peak of the mountain, right? Chris Ariola definitely, at one point could have did it, but he never did it. Andy Ruiz seen the mountain, he tasted it, he knows he can do it again. Therefore, he's going to get in the best shape of his life to really achieve it. Because I'll be honest, man, Andy Ruiz, it looks like he's been going 70% on cruise control throughout his whole career. He's extremely athlete. He's extremely just talented. He's a talented fighter who doesn't really take the athleticism part of his game seriously. So maybe he did work on his boxing skills, but that's just one part of boxing. Being an athlete is the primary role of a boxer before anything else. If you're out of shape, it doesn't matter how talented you are. All it takes is a guy to just wilt you down. And this fight this is a 50-50 fight, man. People don't want to see it that way, but understand that when you're talented, a lot of talented fighters lose to fighters who just break you down physically, who walk you down and just break you down, right? Think of Sugar Ray Leonard versus the Hands of Stone, Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran just walked them down, right? And he broke his will, and Sugar Ray Leonard was an extremely talented fighter, but it was talent versus will. And if Chris Ariola comes with his will, he can give Andy Ruiz a lot of problems. So we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out. Andy Ruiz is looking really lean, looking really good. He's not even looking lean, he's looking buff. I was expecting Andy Ruiz to lose the weight and tone down and look more thin, but it's really deceptive when you're almost 300 pounds and you're lifting all that weight around all the time. Your legs are going to be strong. They're going to be bodybuilder strong. Your arms are going to be strong. They're going to be bodybuilder strong because you're used to carrying all the weight around, right? Andy Ruiz has always been as big his whole career. Therefore, when he tones down, he's going to be bigger than what you think. He's going to be buff, but he's going to be bigger than what you think. And I'm not sure if you ever got in a fight with a fat guy before, but it's called fat man strength. And I'm telling you, man, that's the scariest kind of strength you can ever experience. Because those people, I've seen big fat people lose weight, and when they tone down and they lose all that weight, they have this inhuman strength because they're used to carrying all that weight around. And what they say, man, most of the power comes from your legs. And when your stomach's, and when most of your body, especially up top, is all fat, and your legs are still big as well, your legs are carrying all the weight. Everything's being supported by your legs, right? So you're naturally going to be hitting a lot harder, right? If Andy Ruiz loses his weight, it's like throwing a football 10 yards. Imagine if that football, instead of weighing what it weighs now, imagine it weighing like a feather, and you throw it, but you're used to throwing it 10 yards. It's most likely going to go 30 or 40 yard line, if not way further. The fact of the matter is, Andy Ruiz is used to throwing punches, being overweight. When he loses that weight and he's a normal weight, he's gonna be hitting a lot harder, and he's not really gonna have to be try, because he's gonna be leaner. It's gonna be easier to throw that punch, and it's gonna be a normal punch, but he's gonna be so unhinged by all the weight he has. This is gonna be a different kind of fighter, man. He's gonna be a different kind of fighter. And you see in his picture, the definition of his arms already say it. They already say the rest of his body and how toned he's getting, right? The only thing Andy Ruiz needs to do is target that stomach. He probably needs to do a lot more sit-ups, because that's really one of the hardest parts to lose in your body, the stomach, for sure. He gets that core nice. My God, man. My God. Let me know you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. Jew Basket Empire. Peace.